Yeah, man, people, welcome back again. Welcome back again. Thanks for being here again for the second time. Again, look, remember the support. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Really important. Really appreciate it as well, especially for the newcomers, them, coming on board. Don't forget to like, share, and smash that subscription button. You understand? But again, want to talk about two players. I did say I was going to talk about, Roman Borrell and also, Malik Mothersille, but going to switch course, going to add the two injury ball of them. Yeah, the two injury ball of them, two ball of them that picked up and I want to touch on, Malik Mothersille, who picked up a back injury in the game, when they play away to Rotterdam, in the League One. And I know, Malik Mothersille did came on in the start of the second half and he get pulled out just before the game finished. And also for Cadamarteri, look, it said it's a knock, but I was, searching and I was browsing through, YouTube just to find what happened in the game, of why Cadamarteri got injured. I was trying to even find, of him getting substitute during that game to see what kind of situation or was the scenario around his injury. And I did find something in the game where, the opponent defender clattering, in the back of Cadamarteri, and he got up from that challenge because the play, continued. I don't know if the referee, I didn't even see if the referee blow a foul or, signal for a player, but Sheffield Wednesday continued to play the ball and they went down that left hand side, off their left hand side to the right hand side of Portsmouth. And after that, he got up and he just started to hobble around on his feet and he hop right into the box. You can see the footage on the screen, but that's the only thing or the evidence that I can see of, this was the situation of where Cadamarteri got injured, and it happened around 5 minutes before he got substituted. So he tried to run on it and he tried to continue, but he decided, or the manager decided, look, we're going to take it off, we're going to take precaution, we're not going to risk it, and we're going to assess you and see what it is, rather than you stay on that football pitch and try to, damage that foot, because they don't know what happened. And I guess the player was feeling a little bit of pain because he hopped right around the pitch until he came off. So, I mean, what a time, for Cadamarteri to, to pick up a knock. I don't know how serious it is, which I think in the next 24 hours or beyond that, I will get a little bit more update on, what is happening with Cadamarteri. But he did pick up a knock, and suspect that it's coming from that challenge where the defender clattered, in the back of Cadamarteri during that game away at Fratton Park versus Portsmouth. So look, wrong timing. Just, I think, 2 more match day leave. I think 2 more weekends leave before the boys will head off again for international duty. And you will say, it was a very impressive, debut for him versus Bermuda, and at home versus Trinidad, where he scored on his debut inside of the office. First time playing in Kingston, Jamaica. So you would, get the taste of what is World Cup qualifier in the CONCACAF region. And, I know for sure he's expecting, and want more again in October. And it's just so unfortunate that, he might be in the October window and he probably might not be up to his standard. And if the length of the injury, how serious it is, then he might not be even in the squad, because of, injury and stuff like that. And then it's the same thing for Malik Mothersille. But for Cadamarteri, a little bit disappointed that, he picked up that knock. But I'm just hoping that it was just one of those challenges that he just couldn't run off at the time, but nothing serious where it would probably take a couple of days. But what I'm seeing on FootMob, where they're saying that they expect the player to return early October. So early October, there's no date, but again, that's very close of the selection, and that's very close of the first game away in Curacao. And again, it's going to be precaution around Cadamarteri, because when you look at the field, the AstroTurf that the reggaeboyz will play on in their next game, you don't really want to risk playing players that's coming off injury and to risk them on the AstroTurf. You know how dangerous it is on the AstroTurf when when he's not 100% up to your fitness. And especially coming off a foot injury. The AstroTurf can give you a lot of, shin problem, ankle problem, muscle problem, meniscus problem and stuff like that, so it's a dangerous road to go down to play a player that's coming off a foot injury. And again, the evidence that I saw in the game, I'm assuming that was the challenge that injured Bailey Cadamarteri. And next up goes in for, Malik Mothersille. Malik Mothersille, according to his coach, he picked up a back injury. And listen to what the coach said, on the back of Malik Mothersille getting, double sub in the game because of a back injury.
Likewise with Malik, we've got to get him going. And we've put him in a position there where he would say it's a position where he can be a threat. Unfortunately, he's felt something in his back, a little bit of a sort of spasm, and we had to make a change. But some positive stuff when he came on, but still stacks to work on around what our expectations will be from him in and out of possession, and his reaction to disappointing moments when maybe he does give the ball away. And that was something we went through with Jack for a long time in the first season when he was here. Eventually the penny will drop, because if it doesn't, you won't get the opportunities for the penny to drop. So a work in progress still there, but like I say, some positive stuff.
So one thing, Malik Mothersille, is not in his best of form. He's not in the best of where Malik Mothersille should be at this moment. Record-breaking fee for him paid by, Stockport County from Peterborough, to get him over the line. So, there will be a lot of pressure on Malik Mothersille to produce for Stockport County. And he is that extra body that, they brought in to help them to get over the line of getting promotion to the championship. And things haven't been well for Malik Mothersille after that first game. Everything just started to went down the hill for Malik Mothersille, and I don't know what is going on with the player personally. I don't know if the player is going through some personal, issues, concern around his personal life, or he's just out of touch at this moment where he's just nowhere near top form at this moment. But the coach went on and said something, very critical of, the player when he's not getting the ball. They have some issue that they're trying to sort out, for the player. And he did say that, they bring him into a position where he would have used to, where he can play as well. So familiar territory of him, trying to get the best out of him. So the club is trying to get the best out of, Malik Mothersille. Is not playing the amount of minutes that a lot of people expect Malik Mothersille to be playing, for Stockport County. So because of, his form has dipped, his attitude, again, as the coach referring to something with his attitude of, when the ball is not going his way or he lose the ball, his demeanor and everything change. But the coach would have said, it's work in progress. But with Malik Mothersille, got snubbed by, Steve McLaren in the September window, because he said that during that time the player picked up a knock. But that same coach that just did that interview, went on and said days after he picked up the knock, Malik Mothersille will be fine and he will up for selection, and he will be available for the next game to play, from the get-go. But I think he did came off the bench, so again, according to to Steve McLaren at the time, Malik Mothersille is injured, and according to other sources as well around the JFF, he is injured, which it wasn't a major problem that could have that it wasn't a major issue that could have keep the player up, but it was just a little minority of the issue of the injury that he sustained, that it's nothing serious of could have keep him out of the selection for the September window. But again, Steve McLaren know why he didn't pick him. But for me, I don't think Malik Mothersille deserved a call up at this moment. But for all the Malik Mothersille fans out there, that the player is not going, is not having the best of times at this moment, in his career, and his attitude, on the pitch, his demeanor, it's completely wrong. The club is trying to change the situation around Malik Mothersille. So hopefully, the player can, recover from his back injury. Hopefully, it's not something that is very serious that will keep him out for a long time. But all of this is happening at the wrong time for Malik Mothersille, and We don't want to hear, reggae boy players having these issues of attitude problem. He's on the wrong side of the fence, for his football club, where, what he needs to produce on a football pitch is just completely wrong at this moment. His farm is down, and the last thing you want to, for your chips to down is the attitude towards the game. At least your form can be down, but at least your attitude towards the game should be bright. Should have a sparks to at least to get back that momentum, for Malik Mothersille to go again. But again, all the chips are down at this moment. So the Malik Mothersille, fans, I'm not expecting a call up for Malik Mothersille for the October window, but wrong timing to, for all of this to start to happen for Malik Mothersille after, would have been, very, very happy, for making his debut in the Unity Cup, to get that call up, to get that look in the squad, to see what it's like, play for the Reggae Boy team, and what it likes to just to be in the black, green and gold shirt, and to be in our squad, being on camp in the UK for the Unity Cup as well. So, look, he's going to have to try the other way, of more difficult way of, miss the September window. More likely will miss the October window. What will it be for Malik Mothersille for the November window? Players are fighting for their position. Players are fighting for their spots, so with him set to miss, the second month out of the 3 months that we have World Cup qualifiers for, he would have loved to be in around the team to at least, to stamp his class, to at least show the fans, back home in Jamaica, what is Malik Mothersille like. I thought Malik Mothersille could have been that number 10, could have at least, to fill that void for the national team because of his skill set, because of his how, his quality in the half space, his quality of, collecting the ball deep with his back to the goal, and how he can create moments, for his teammates, for the national team, just like what he did last campaign for Peterborough, where he produced more than 15 opportunities for his teammate, create big chances. So again, I was expecting something like that to carry over for the national team from club football, but it's we yet to see that for Malik Mothersille for the national team. But tough times. We're going to have to just support the player and continue wish him the best, and hopefully things can change with him, with his attitude, and with his form on the pitch, and most important, to recover from that back injury. So speedy recovery to both Reggae Boy players, Bailey Cadamarteri and also Malik Mothersille. Catch you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Tuesday morning, bright and early, ready again Tuesday morning to do 2 more videos. So thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. Again, the morning inside extra. Bless up on yourself. Salute. Ciao.